Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Harmony and Hustle podcast. I'm your host, Sean, and today I have a very special guest, my good dear friend, Mr. Alex Drew.
Hello, how's it going? How are you doing, Sean? You right?
Yeah, mate, not too bad. It's been a long time.
It has been.
Nice to have a little catch up. Everyone I've got on so far I haven't seen for ages, so it's been nice to have a break from work and just sort of have a little catch up and a chat about the things that we love.
It's a little bit refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Reminds us.
Yeah, so for those of you, for those that don't know who the hell you are, what is it you do? I know what you do, but what's your game?
So I am Alex Drew, aka the man in the vest. I've been involved in music ever since I can really remember. I think I started playing when I was 12, and yeah, I've been doing all sorts of projects along the years, and growing through my musical journey. And now the last few years, I've been working on Men Invest project, which is my original music that went over from solo into band. And yeah, just gigging around Swindon and trying to get my original material together, really. Yeah, that's me, the man in the vest.
So you were obviously a drummer to begin with. So just to give a bit of backstory, similar to Paul, we were on the same college course together.
We were, yeah.
Back in there.
Yeah, about 10 years ago now.
You were a drummer.
I was, yeah.
A very good drummer at that.
I was all right, yeah.
I thought you were very good.
I've always had a natural feel for the drums.
Yeah.
Very passionate about it, and yeah, put a lot of time into it when I was younger. Played in lots of bands and stuff like that. But yeah, I couldn't write a song on the drum kit. Mm-hmm. So there was limitations to what I could do, and me being the leader I am as well was always trying to control things from behind the drum kit.
Yeah.
So it kind of caused lots of conflicts in groups.
You were a bit like Lars Ulrich, but
it's like, no, do this,
a better drummer.
It's like, shut up, you're the drummer.
Yeah, you've had an interesting journey, really, because now you're a front man.
Yeah.
For a band which started out as a solo project.
Yeah.
And over the years has slowly sort of built into a three-piece. Then for those of you who don't know, I joined the band for a bit, having recorded a couple of tracks for you in the studio.
We're gonna hear a bit of that.
We'll play that. No, I haven't played it yet. I will play it, and then we'll come back and be like,
which is also
we'll talk about it a bit. But
produced by yours truly as well. It's a very fun.
Yeah. I was the producer on that. As you were the first full band I'd recorded in a long time, to be honest, and I probably consider that the first proper production that I did with a full band.
Yeah.
I mean, I dabbled a bit when I did my bachelor's degree, but doing that for my master's was.
I think it was a nice working environment as well. We all clicked really well, which is why then we kind of moved forward as well to have you kind of joining in as a lead guitarist.
Yeah.
You got on really well with Dan as well.
Me and Dan hit it off like fucking hell straight away. We're like really good mates now. That's probably the best thing that happened.
It's really cool.
That took from that, and obviously the expansion of mine and your friendship too, which is really good. Why can I? Oh fuck!
Yeah, it's nice how it's all
keep going.
entwined,
The tumble dryer's
really.
On. I forgot. Shit.
Well, it's important to keep your clothes clean and dry.
Yeah. Well,
you don't want clean clothes if they're wet.
Fuck. I thought I could hear humming. I was like, what is that noise?
Yeah. So yeah, as Sean's sorting out the laundry, I'm going to wait for him.
There we go. Right. What the hell are we saying?
So, wow.
About how we met, and the journey that I had with Men Invest, which was a really fun time. It was something I definitely needed at the time, hadn't been in a band for years because of obviously the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really refreshing. I had a really great time with him. I think we got some really good results, had some really great gigs.
We had some really cool gigs. The gig with Will and the People was
we'll talk about that for sure. Obviously that was you and Dan sort of came. Well, it was more your idea, wasn't it, for that?
So I've followed Will and the People for years now, and one of my favourite bands. And I've been to a bunch of their gigs and met him a few times. And yeah, would drop him a message on Facebook, like fanboying and stuff like that now and then. And I just one day I was like, I want to do a gig with him. Like, I really want to gig with him. It was one of my dreams. And if anyone knows anything about manifest, it means to manifest. So, this is stuff I've all dreamt of that I've kind of tried to make reality. And over the years, things have pieced together. And Willing the People was a big step in that direction, and it was a big project to work towards. And messaged him and just said, "Oh, I want to book you, man. Like, what's the score? How much do you charge? Blah blah blah, and all this." And it was like I didn't have the money for it. I was like, right,
£1,200. That was a nerve-wracking evening.
That was actually a reduced rate from them as well.
Yeah.
So, we shouldn't really talk about their money too much. I don't know how happy they'll be about that.
Yeah. Well,
but so I just didn't have the money for it. I was like, yep, I'll make it happen. We'll book you. And it was a stress, to be fair. Like, me and Dan getting towards the gig, we were like, oh my God, we're in so much debt.
Yeah.
But we managed to pull it off. I think we got about 30 quid each in our pocket.
Yeah, we did. Even we were able to pay ourselves some money, which was nice.
So, I was happy with that. It was a good result. Couldn't have gone any better, really. I did find, when you host your own night, it's really hard to enjoy it as much. I had a great time.
I did as well. It was banging.
I was darting around everywhere. Everyone wanted a bit of me. Have a conversation here, there, and I
know you and I got a bit of action. That was an interesting night, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I remember that. The night prevailed.
Yeah, the night prevailed. The night ended up. Wow, we were not going to go into that. But
yes,
I went from being extremely happy to fucking fuming, but standard.
Women have that effect on us.
Anyway.
It was an amazing night. I mean, I was darting around everywhere, and I mean, performance-wise, I felt, I couldn't really put my whole energy into that because I had so much going on as well.
How do you think it went now, looking back, like just in terms of your? I think we were fine.
I think we played really well and we sounded great.
Broke a string, standard.
Yeah,
every gig we've done, you broke a string.
Yeah, that happened at my last gig as well.
Me and Martin talked about this on the last episode.
There's a photo of me at my last gig. Valerie got it, and I'm literally sat on stage while Dan's doing a solo, and I'm like trying to feed the string through the back of my Strat, and like, oh.
Was this the last gig you did at the Vic?
Yeah, I'm literally
the new guitarist, Graham. Is it?
Graham Mattingly. You guys may have heard of him if you're from Swindon. He's a music teacher around here.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he's a teacher at the music co-op. Music co-op.
Interesting.
He's played in a few bands. I can't remember what his band was called, but they were quite successful back in the day. He played in a signed band.
Oh wow!
And he's Graham's really cool character, man. Like, there's a great working relationship between us. I was over there yesterday for about 4 or 5 hours, and we get through material, but then we also we'll have a coffee or we'll have some food or we'll play a game or whatever. And, there is
a game, like a video game or like
board games,
board games like that. Okay, old school.
We're getting older now.
Analog.
Playing Ring of Fire.
Oh right, so there's a party then.
It's more like board games.
Yeah, that's fair play. Yeah, I caught some clips of you guys on Facebook.
I mean, it's all very fresh still.
Yeah, I mean, what struck me was obviously my style was completely different to his. So when I heard By a Thread, for example, which we're going to play today, he does it completely. He's took it in a completely different direction to what I did, which I found really fascinating. I found it interesting.
Your styles are quite contrasting, really.
Yeah, but I think he's better suited for what you want to do. Definitely.
Yeah, I think
I ended up making it a bit more rocky, which I guess wasn't intentional.
We liked that though. There was, because the By a Thread, especially, and Sugar, really helped shape Sugar.
I forgot about that. Wish I had that to play.
Some really great songs, and bringing that heavier 90s rock, 80s 90s rock style into it.
Yeah, it reminded of like Tony Hawk's soundtrack kind of stuff. Yeah,
100%.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah.
No, you're cool. I find with Graham, he's more like a rhythm player as such.
Yeah.
He and kind of the gypsy style stuff I want to go down. He's kind of on board with that as well.
Yeah.
There's an essence of Sean that is missing though, is in Thread and Sugar for sure. Yeah, it's like trying to be able to remake that, but obviously within styles.
That one section that we added into Sugar, where we like properly changed keys and added like a guitar solo. I was waiting for that to come up at your gig, and I was like, it's there, but yeah, obviously he didn't do like a solo or anything. So I was like, I was like, get him to do a solo. Like.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a lot to learn in the last few weeks. So
I found it hard. Like when I
mean,
it's
a lot to do. It is a lot to do. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the most proficient guitarist, so communication for me can be quite hard anyway. I'm like doing it from like a drummer perspective, going, yeah, do this and play here, not quite realising necessarily the technicality that, is going into it. But
can you swing your wire?
Yeah.
Just because I can
just
hear
what,
it
onto this side?
So hang it, both those wires, like hang it if you can, both of them, and that wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can hear it. There we go.
Oh, I'm limited in movement now.
Sorry, just stretch it.
So yeah, Men Invest is gone through a bit of a journey really. So it started off obviously with me writing my material. So I was playing drums in Spider Sense
with I remember Lee this. Knott. Yeah,
Lee Knott, Matt Chipperfield, Sean Barry, and Roger Howarth. And I played in that band for about 5 years, and that was me kind of coming back into music after a few years break. And if anyone knows Lee Knott, he's incredibly passionate songwriter from Swindon. From Manchester, moved to Swindon, and
very good singer.
Yeah, amazing singer.
I really like his vocals. He sounds like David Bowie.
Yeah, stroke Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a great voice, and a really good songwriter as well. And I was playing drums in his band, and during that whole process, I got really inspired to learn the guitar and write my own songs. So kind of during that process, I was, writing the drum parts for their songs, and as well as learning songs and writing with Lee. So he gave me a load of pointers and tips along the way, and some of the first songs I wrote, he helped me write and would co-write them with me.
So you played drums pretty much your whole life. What inspired you to make the jump to frontman? Did I already ask this?
Yeah, no, not really.
Okay.
Kind of. We briefly spoke about how I made that journey.
Tired,
kind of briefly. Like it was mostly wanting to write songs.
Yeah.
Wanting to be able to add a little bit more to the song. Like, I've always been that leader that would try and I would hear where I'd want things to go.
Yeah.
And I realised that, if I haven't wrote the song, then I don't really have too much say over, structures of things and where things are going.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of have more control over the songs that I was involved in.
Yeah.
So the only way I could do
your
that
own
is
project, something you could kind of take charge of and be like, this is what I envision.
Yeah.
Who's in? Like, who wants to?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like no, you can't do that, or no, you can't. Like, this is exactly what you have to play. Like, I am completely open to, people adding their signature onto it and bringing their flair, but also like.
I mean, you were totally open with me when I joined you. Like, mate, do your thing. Like,
yeah, man. Like, I'll give a certain. Yeah, this is kind of the structure I want, or I'll let people know if that's not the sound I want. But
yeah.
At the same time, you've got to stick to your strengths. Like having guitarists that are way more proficient than me, I'm gonna listen to their expertise and think, well, where are they gonna go? What can they hear? What are they gonna add?
Yeah.
So it's kind of trying to take the ego out of it really and stick to our strengths of ability really. But also I liked having that overall say, because being at the front, it's like.
Man.
You're exposed to it, and I'm selling myself as this is who I am. This is my band, or even though it's our band and we're all in it together.
It's your baby, isn't it? You birthed it, you created it. It's something
it was my dream that people have kind of latched onto as well, and it's become a shared dream now. So I think we're like 3 years in now.
Yeah,
man. Probably coming up to 5 with the solo stuff.
I always noticed that you had like sort of quite the following. I always saw the same people, the gigs and stuff, and it was nice, seeing familiar faces who sort of kept up with what we were doing 100%. And what you're doing now.
Yeah, we've got a really nice community around Swindon. There's a good little network of us that all support each other and have seen the journey of each other. So we've got, Here Come the Crows, Jolie and the Souls, Crystal Wolf Project.
Yeah.
We've got Rude Mood and...
Yeah, I forgot about that. Jake and
Harvey,
Dan Jarrett. Yeah.
Dan's no longer involved in, but he was at one point.
He has a project though, doesn't he?
He has started something up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's doing that with Tyler.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I did speak to him a couple of weeks ago, Tyler. Actually.
We're all kind of on the radar, and we're not doing. The Men Invest aren't doing loads of gigs, being an original band. We find it quite hard to book. Like pub gigs and stuff like that, because people just want to hear the covers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say our gigs are quite few and far between. So when we do get them, people try and make the effort to kind of get out to them, which is, you can't ask for anything more really from an original band to start having an actual following. Even though it's friends and family, they're there pretty much every time, and it is starting to grow. And yeah, I just appreciate that. Really, it's kept me going. Hearing people's responses from gigs and seeing people enjoy it, it kind of gives you that motivation to keep going with it and just keep writing. The amount of times I've quit, Sean.
Yeah, oh mate, same.
It gets hard sometimes, and you think, oh, what do I do this for? And then the next day you're doing it again, and you're like, oh, this is why I do it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of unconsciously quit music multiple times. Not where I've just made the conscious decision just to be like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore, but I just kind of stopped, especially during COVID, which would have been the ideal time to knuckle down and hone my skills and, do something I've always been envious of you, for example, and Paul as well, as someone who never used to be a vocalist. You just played an instrument. Now you're doing vocals and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
which is always something I want to do, but I just can't do it.
It's confidence, man.
But backing vocals, I was absolutely fine. But
you've got some beautiful highs, though.
Yeah, oh mate,
You're high. Go on, whack them out.
I'm not doing that. This is as loud as I'm gonna do it. But no. Oh mate, yeah, I've got to put some power behind that. People be like, "Oh my god!" Like,
the room starts shaking. Microphones popping.
Yeah. Where was I going with this? But yeah, so it's always something I always sort of looked up to you for, because it's.
I mean, I've never been the greatest singer, mate.
I guess that's why it's inspirational. That even proves my point more. Like, when you walk through town and you hear buskers sometimes, and they're just like, "Whoa, that sucks." Yeah. I still find that commemorable. That I'm like, damn.
Fair play.
Fair play. You got the
fair play. You suck.
You've got the stalk to be able to stand up there and do it, or it's just completely ignorance and they think they're amazing. I mean, I don't know, but nah, man, your vocals have come a long way as well. Like,
I mean, I got a lot of tips and pointers. I mean, when I was singing with Spider Sense, I was working with Matt Chipperfield and Lee Knott, and they're both very different vocalists, but both very good. Like, Matt's very clear, got very powerful highs, and quite a clean tone. Whereas Lee has a very rough.
Yeah, he's got a bit of dirt and a bit of distortion in his vocals. And,
it's just years of smoking and drinking.
Yeah.
He's got that proper blues tone about his voice.
So he proper reminds me of Bowie. Like, I don't know why. Just something about him. Like, man, that sounds like Bowie.
Influences, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is where we're inspired from. Hearing these voices and going, do you know what? I really like that sound. I want to try and emulate that, or and then you hear it in your own voice as well. Like I've heard, like, there's not many people I think that sound like me.
No, I'd agree, absolutely. Yeah, you've got just definitely like a unique voice, as we'll hear a bit later on.
And I within my music, you can hear influences and certain styles, but with my voice, there isn't too much that sounds like me. And I
think like a hint of Rage Against the Machine, like a hint of that.
There's actually a band called Mobius Loop. I don't know if you've heard them.
No, you might have mentioned it before. But
it's freaky, man. Like, I listen to Mobius Loop and I hear myself.
Yeah,
it's like he has got the same voice as me. I think he's a bit better, but it's like, oh my god, like that's me singing on this track. I don't remember doing that. So that's the only artist that I've ever really heard that sounds like me. But really, it's like, what I go for is, I know I'm not the strongest singer, so it's more about how I'm expressing what I'm saying. like what message I'm trying to prevail, or what emotion I'm trying to express within the line I'm saying, and how I say that and how I project that. And that was my approach to singing. It's never been like, right, I'm going to go to this note, to this note, to this note. It'd be like, right, how can I say that to get across this message? And I think that's why people feel what I sing, and you know, it doesn't matter that I'm not the strongest vocally.
No, it doesn't
ability,
matter.
It still sets that feeling, and that's matched with the band. And this is where I feel like Men Invest have that edge.
Bob Dylan's a good example of this, because he doesn't have an outstanding. He's definitely got a unique voice, but he's not an outstanding singer. But it's, you know, it's like you and with him, it's the commitment to the role and your confidence in what it is you're saying, and singing about. So
yeah, there's some things that I've written that, you know, a lot of people might think, oh, you can't say that, or you know, maybe be a bit afraid to say certain things. And I think a lot of people, you know, they struggle opening up as well, talking about their emotions and feelings. Whereas I'm like, have it all, like,
yeah.
See it, feel it.
Well, that's the important thing about music. For me, definitely, although like I don't publicise any lyrics I write or any vocal lines and stuff, it's definitely something personal for me that it gives me an avenue in which to express myself that I couldn't
100%.
otherwise couldn't communicate. And this is something I latched onto when I first got into music. You know, I had quite like a troubled childhood, and I was a bit of a tearaway and getting into trouble, and I didn't really know which way to turn. And then I discovered Eddie Van Halen, and I was like, I want to do this. I was like, so I kind of dedicate all my time to playing guitar and trying to get my emotions out that way.
You are a very expressive guitarist.
Without even trying, really, like, or not trying, without even consciously doing it, it just sort of gave me a place to sort of be myself.
100%. That makes the hairs go up, man, because that is music, you know. It's almost being able to express what cannot be put into words.
Yeah,
the feelings.
It's a spoken word,
it's the universal language, you know. The emotion can come through when, you know, you don't really know how to put that into words. You can get that out through music. And that's why I loved drumming, you know. It was such an outlet. It was like, smash it.
Good for aggression.
You can't not feel good after playing drums.
Yeah.
And it's the same with guitar, man. When you're ripping it, it's like, yeah, that sounded good. I feel good now. So yeah, music's a powerful thing. It's definitely therapy. It definitely has got me through hardships, and it's kept me on track for sure. Like
same with me. Yeah,
as being a creative person, you know, I'm an addict, basically. I'm addicted to music. I'm addicted to anything that's going to make me buzz or give me that, like, that feeling of, like, just a feeling, any feeling. And, you know, having an addictive personality like I do.
I'm exactly the same.
If I didn't have my music, if I didn't have that to throw my energy into, God knows where I would be. Like, it's saved my ass loads of times. And, like, I am so thankful for music and for having my music, but also I think people feel that as well, like, and that's why people also are grateful for my music as well. It's just it's a giving. It just keeps giving.
Yeah, you know? No, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I'm no what's the word? Not revealing too much. I definitely use music as like a therapy, and if I didn't have that, I would most likely be doing other things I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
Possibly dead. Not to get too dark, but it is what it is. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I hear you,
I'm not saying, I don't mean that as in I use music as a crutch to stop me from doing things like that. I definitely don't.
Listen to my music or I will die.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I don't really know what I'd do without it, to be honest. No. Like, it's a good way of channeling my emotions and just making sense of the world through my own experiences and what I see and relate to, and how I can 100%. Put that into a song.
And I mean, learning practical skills with music, I mean, that gives you a focus. That gives you can't think of anything else whilst you're doing that.
Exactly.
So it's a pure positive thought. You know, if you struggle with like any negative thoughts and stuff like that, or, you know, you can circle and go around them for ages, and it's just damaging for you. But if you throw in your energy into something that's creative, something that's positive, and that's all that you can think of at that time, that only has a positive effect on people, on you, on everyone. You know?
Well, absolutely.
It's a positive thing, and also this is where. So when I was doing instruments and learning guitar and learning drums, and I'd spend hours and hours just thinking of guitar and drums. And even when I get off of them, I'm still thinking about it. When it comes into songwriting, it's like a whole different sort of kettle of fish, because you can actually write down what you've got going on in your head at that time, or struggles that you've got going on, or feelings that you're feeling. And it's just getting it out, getting it down. And even if you're not using them lyrics, just to be able to write stuff down and be able to connect your brain to the paper is such an outlet.
Well, yeah, it doesn't even have to make sense to start with. Like what a lot of exercises I used to do is called free association. Right, not free free writing, where you just write, and this, you know, you're not really associating it with a specific subject. You just write, and whatever comes out, like just it could be anything. Like, it doesn't really matter, and you can build songs from that, and you know.
Yeah, loads of my songs don't make sense. Loads of them do. I mean, it's just words that sound good together as well a lot of the time. It's nice to make just sense or have a positive message and stuff like that, or like have something to relate to, but sometimes it doesn't need that. Like sugar, you're made of sugar, what's wrong with you? I mean, that's kind of like that sight lad, like, oh, what's wrong with me, man up.
I mean, you could look at that lyric and take that as many different ways.
That's how I read it.
Like, oh, you're too sweet, like, or I don't know, just...
This is it. And I write a lot of double entendre stuff.
You're in hundreds and thousands of pieces. Like, I don't know, but...
Well, you can take it anyway. Yeah. Like, and this is...
Open to interpretation.
This is the beauty of having it, like, nonsensical sometimes. It's like writing poignant lines. I mean, I write a lot of double entendre stuff, so I'll have a certain thing in my head that I'm like, this is what I'm actually talking about. This is the experience I've gone through, or... like, how can I say that is open to an interpretation? Like, how is the listener going to hear this? And then where will that take their brain for the next line? So, like, I try and leave everything open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Just so this listener gets what message they need from it. And then it's almost like, you know, I did a song, Little High, Little Low.
Yeah, and I know this one. I've played it.
So the first verse is all like contrasting things. You are wrong, you are right. You can fly, you can fight. We are love, we are hate. We destroy, we create. You are shy, you can glow. You are everything you know. We are fast, we are slow. You can grow, you can flow. So it's all saying you are both sides of the spectrum all the time. We are everything. We are these negatives. We are these positives. And, you know, my idea of this was to provoke some sort of, to make people address some sort of either positive and negative thing that they know about themselves. And then later on in the song, it's kind of saying, like, we are all these things, but that's what's beautiful about it. And, like, we can use these to learn about ourselves and to help each other and to grow. And twisted that into a really positive message. So my idea behind it is like healing music. You hear this, it make you think of this. And then how can I then, with words and feelings and emotions, shape you to think about that subject in a brighter light and kind of resolve some internal issues that people may be having. So that was an approach that I had with songwriting for a period. The songs took a while because, you know, there was a lot of thinking going into it. But every song comes differently, to be fair. Like, sometimes it could be I've written a rap or a bunch of poems, different poems at different times.
Yes.
Then piecing things together at different times.
Oh, you will hear some of these poems. Should we play By a Thread?
Yeah, let's have a listen to By a Thread.
All right, guys. Well, give it a little introduction, Alex. Tell people, you know, what's the inspiration for this song?
This song's called By a Thread, and it was actually written about a spider, and sort of my perception of what a spider is spiritually and physically, and also the connections to society in these days.
I've always found it hard to keep self-motivation. Often daydreaming, blazing or stargazing, I share my gifts. It keeps me rich. Creation in the making, manifests what I'm feeling. I'll make a wish. As dreams come together, the magic begins. Weaving our lives, of fate will we bring, because we are the artists. Let's not suffer fools. You are my motivation, and I am yours. Creeping and winding, yeah, here we go. Find him, lurking in the shadows. Watch out, holding on by a thread. Casting and weaving through the underworld, waiting patiently to make the kill. Watch out, holding on by a thread. She's got that feminine divine energy. Oh, energy. Ocean flows where the wind blows. The yogi knows life on the web. Ocean flows where the wind blows. He only knows life on the edge. It's just the way it goes when you're scared to die and afraid to live. Let's go! Watch out! Jumping, projecting, what do you show? Reflecting life's many faces. Watch out, holding on by a thread. Reaching, seeking, want to know, repeating, a feeling you should let go. Watch out, holding on by a thread. She's got that divine energy. Energy. Blows when the winds blow. He only knows life on the web. Ocean flows. He only knows life on the edge. It's just the way it goes when you're scared to die and afraid to live. Let's go.
Nice. If I do say so myself. It's really nice to listen to, actually.
Yeah, man.
The headphones going.
That came out all right, didn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when we finished recording that, and I won't lie, I was like, oh, God, this sounds like shit. Like, not because of you guys, I was just like, oh, I was like, this, I don't know how this is going to come out. And yeah, because I was running so far behind, and I've been up all night the night before because of work. So I was like basically up for 24 hours recording this, and my brain just wasn't working when we were recording this.
It was working enough.
Yeah.
Something was working
and
right.
I went home and I like mixed and mastered it, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, this actually sounds like a song. Like,
yeah. Once you get all the mud bits out and everything,
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I do differently now. If like were to do it again, definitely with the vocals.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. I mean, admittedly, we didn't really finish it completely.
No, it was kind of cobbled together. Like,
there's a lot still to do to that track, really.
Yeah.
I feel to kind of tighten everything up a little bit.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, we lost the stems, didn't we? So
so this is the only version that exists.
We struggled to kind of do too much with it and use parts, really. So it's a bit of a shame, but we still have that recorded in history.
Yes, it was a fond memory. It was really fun. I really enjoyed doing the synths at the beginning, because you had that guitar part.
Yes,
which you played, and I, for some reason, do you remember your poem? I decided to reverse it. Yeah. Like your vocals, and I was like, this sounds like some kind of French Welsh stuff. But I was like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I took that guitar part and I reversed it. And it came out really cool, and it worked really. Yeah, I was like, this makes it sound messed up.
Yeah, and then you added the synth part,
the Inception worms and some programmed violins, which came out really good. Actually, I was really proud of those violins. They're not perfect, but
better than I could play the violin.
It came out really pretty good. I was really proud of that.
We were all buzzing over that period.
We were. You were especially.
Yeah, man. I'm like a kid in a candy shop when I get a chance to be in the studio. It's like all this kit around me, and we had our challenges. I mean, I've not done a great amount of recording, especially as a vocalist, so it was actually quite a new experience for me also. Yeah. So I remember facing some hardships and pitching and things like that we were. Yeah. It was like, oh, hang on, we have to retake that. And,
well, my main thing was because you guys were insistent on doing it all live, and that scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh, it's like these drums are gonna be a bitch, and they were a bitch. Like, I don't think I've ever done so much processing on the snare drum. Like, it was so out of tune.
This still sounds a bit. I had to
find like four or five different frequencies. I was like, damn, I need to like pull them out. So much ringing, but I think I did a good job.
Yeah, Dan's he has that wooden rim snare.
Yeah. It's awesome snare.
Detunes that right the way down, and then he's got a little steel one where he has that really tight, so you can kind of have the difference of little like ghost notes on the tighter skin. But then, I mean, on this recording we just had the looser snare. So, but it's quite an interesting sound that snare.
At this point, I wasn't actually in the band, so the guitar you were hearing, though, it's got mine and your guitars in there, but I didn't record the distorted guitar live, did I? It was just you guys. Yeah. I took this home and I was like, this needs some
this needs a solo.
This needs some dirt. This needs there's like a really good section to put a solo. Yeah. I was like, okay, let's see what this works, like how this works.
So wasn't it the first solo that you throw in over it? It was like, right, this is where I'm going to put it in, and laid this solo down and was like, yeah, that was cool. And then tried a bunch of other ones as well. And then was like, actually, it was the first one I liked.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I did it in one, so that's partly in one take. I think there's a bend in there that I redid because it just wasn't quite doing it. It was there was like a pinch harmonic in there as well, which I redid. But basically, that's one take solo. Yeah,
nice.
With just a couple of other bits that I added in.
I mean, I can't
quite get right, but
I can't not hear that solo now in them places.
And it's just weird because I always struggled with getting the solos to sit well in the mix. Just like I said, the magic happened with this track. I was so worried that it was going to sound like dog shit, and it all just fell together. And I was like, wow, I was like, okay,
manifested.
I didn't have to push the solo out front too much. Like it just kind of all worked. I mean, seasoned producers out there are going to listen to this and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? This sounds terrible. But
well, if you think you could do better, seasoned producers, hit me up. I'm the man in the vest, and
definitely.
I'm happy to be proven wrong.
We're going to re-record. Oh, mate, I could totally do this now. Like, I've learned so much since we did this. Like I said, this is like my first real time, I would say, where I was recording an actual band, and I did it start from finish, like all on my own. Obviously, you guys were there,
and it was first time for us guys as well. Really, as a collective, to be doing recording together. It was really exciting time.
Yeah, and it was like there was so many teething issues. I was just like getting used to the desk at the time.
I remember we had issues with playback as well.
Yeah, there was just so many weird noises. Like one microphone, like just decided to just constantly keep dying. Like I couldn't work out why.
There's always something that will go wrong.
Yeah.
During when you're using any kit, any electronics, any computers, there's always going to be a degree of headache and problem solving and things you have to sort out. And that's a part of the process.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Sometimes magic happens, and sometimes you turn.
Yeah, but I think that's where the magic is as well.
Magic,
it's like, no,
which makes it magical.
I will get this to work.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going terribly, and then actually, we did all right there.
Yeah, no, like I said,
that is the magic.
It all came together. And I remember when I bounced it down and sent it to everyone. Everyone was like,
yeah, I was really happy with it.
You were showing all your mates. You're like, look, fucking,
yeah,
it's like legit. I was like, that means quite a lot. Like,
yeah, we're down
good
in
enough to be
now.
wanting to show your mates. I was like, that's sick.
Well, this is it. Like, I've got a bunch of songs that I want to get out there and want to get recorded. It's a hell of a process, and it takes money, it takes time, it takes organisation. I mean, I've got nearly 2 albums worth of material.
Yes,
and to get to a place where like I can be recording that, it's going to cost me grands. So to actually have something written down in history is like, it's a big step for an original artist.
Yes,
and hopefully it will open doors in the future as well, with demos, with this demo being able to get gigs and foot in the door to other opportunities. So it's kind of like this right now. If we had never done that, we probably wouldn't be doing this right now.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, this is funny how things work out. Like if I never joined Men Invest, like would never have met Dan, or never have had the idea to finally do the podcast I've been wanting to do for years. I found an opportunity to do it. I wouldn't be where I am at this point if it wasn't for Men Invest. Like, as you like to say, it manifested into
100%.
Play on words. Manifest.
I do believe everyone in Men Invest have. Yeah, I'm getting caught over my own tongue now.
Yeah,
but everyone who's involved in it, I've seen the effect that it's had on them, because when I originally got Dan involved, he's a realist. He's very much real music. I'm a dreamer. You know? And when we work together, we complement each other. Yeah. But I have noticed, he's seen the.
I'm kind of a bit of both of you and him.
Yeah.
I'm like this weird middle ground where.
Yeah, 100%. And I've seen Dan kind of realise, actually, like, that's just manifested itself. Like, and it gave, I think, Martin the encouragement and the motivation to set up the lanes. I believe with Dan, it motivated him with real music, with the promotional side and networking and things like that. Mm-hmm. And
putting on gigs, like like the Will and the People gig, and other stuff you've got coming up.
This has all come from, I believe has come from Men Invest, and I do believe that a degree of that that fire in my belly and that momentum has spilled out into all of us, really. Yeah. In the ways that we've gone for the things that we want to work towards and the things that we're dreaming about, and that is all Men Invest is about. And that to me is like, I've done. My job is done. It's not done. It's continually going. Well, no, but that's what I was aiming for, just to motivate, to get people to do what they want to do, and to manifest
Men Invest
what they want to do.
Is the spine of a big book that has many chapters, some yet to be written.
Yes, there's lots to be written. There's loads that is written that hasn't been come into play yet, and then there's stuff to be written as well. There's lots to look forward to.
An inspiring band.
I mean, this is what music's about, though, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to read a little poem that I've written. I wrote a poem on Facebook. I was feeling a little bit.
Yes,
wanted to remind myself of what it was all about.
This is why I wanted to get you on, this is why you're sat here now, because I read that and I was like, God damn, I was like, music's so important to this dude, and I'm sure it is to so many other people. We need to sit down and talk about why music is so important. And we have touched on that, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've basically been talking about myself, really.
No, man. Well, that's why you're here. Like, no one wants to listen to like my shit. I'm not doing anything at the moment other than this podcast and working my ass off with my job. But unfortunately, I have many times for musical projects. But I need to change that again, because we were doing well, and then obviously, sadly, I had to leave the band just because of other commitments, which is one of my biggest regrets the last few years. But you know. We might end up back there at some point. Who knows? So
yeah, I mean the bridge is built, and know we are in that network together. We are, I've always enjoyed making music with you and writing and being in the process. So yeah, like we're on the journey, and that's what music is. It is a journey, and it's kind of a commitment to that journey as well. Like I realized pretty young, this is what I want to do, and. It's come with its issues. Like, I'm always thinking about music or writing. Like, I'm never really thinking about my day job or like what I need to eat the next day or organisation. It's like it's always at the forefront of my brain. So
yeah,
it's had its hardships. Man. I have a certain way of thinking which is amazing for creativity, but the other challenges in life. And the other things and hardships that we have to face, I haven't really got the focus there. But also that gives me a great degree of experiences that I can then write about. But so I'm going to, just read this poem really. So
do it.
I just thought I'd write something to kind of remind myself and remind everyone else of what the journey's about.
Let's hear it.
Feeling people appreciate your music is the ultimate buzz. It's a roller coaster journey. It starts from being inspired, hearing that sounds that makes you stop to question how. Seeing someone just like self smash, crash and style sound. I think I could do that. The seed is planted, the dream is underway. Granted, it's going to take hours of frustration, dedication, perseverance. But just like I'll find my way. Back to beat the basics comes naturally when the fuel in your belly rumbles triumphantly, jump into the deep. In these waves of sound, courage found the stage, lights blind, I see outlines and hear voices, time to show off and put on the performance. I'm new to this each time, the kid looks so confident, I close my eyes. The kid looks so confident, my mistakes won't faze me. There's a star in the making. I close my eyes and feel the vibration. My body and mind aligns with my soul and dreams. I'm living this path wherever it will lead. For that's who I am. I can't deny. I'm so grateful I found you. You was always there to pick me up, keep me out of trouble, be the wise words that got me through hurt and the energy gave for the movements made. The universal language, 1 and 2. Who knew? Never thought it was out of reach. I believe just like many who came before, inspiring the next wave, the ripples of history pass through different cultures and time, unite as we done through the ages. First the drum, the pulse of Mother Nature. Second to none, the dream lives on, a perpetual cycle that keeps giving. Like when I heard Freddie Mercury sing on my mother's record player, ignited that feeling. I dragged my sister up to sing We Will Rock You for karaoke. She didn't want to. At first, we were both so nervous, but as soon as the drums started, I had the crowd in my hand. That was the first time I felt a crowd to stand. I begged and begged, please, can I learn the drums? To my parents' joys, the noise of pots and pans. My first drum lesson, Ashley asked me, why do you want to play the drums? Before he could finish, I leaped out my seat. I want to be in a band. That was it for him. I passed the first test. He knew this kid, wicked guitarist Chris. Within 6 weeks, we played our first gig. In the deep, we dove, me and Chris, our first band. Man, we slayed it. Between the out-of-town crashes, it was awesome madness to look back to where it all started. Throw yourself into the vibration. So many turns, so many times I've burned. That's it, I quit, only to return more driven to make it work. It comes in waves, just like sound. Music is hand in hand with life. Art is divine. Wonders of the mind decorate in time. It comes in waves as I experience motions, challenges and hardships I'll write. It's not always going to flow from within, but sit and listen. Listen to the birds sing. Music is life. Music is my life. I can never run out of words to whisper or shout. In the depths of it all, my soul is nurtured. I thought I'd write you something here, and I'm still going. I could share my love for music forever. So that's what I'm doing.
Bravo, good sir.
So yeah,
very poignant stuff.
Yeah, it's now and then I'll feel I need to just write something, get it out there, and this is actually a good little tip for any creative writers or free writers. Just go on Facebook, and if you click on your status and just start typing. Yeah. It puts that pressure on of like, oh, people are going to see this. Mm-hmm. And I probably writ that in about half hour, something like that. Just sat down and writ it out. And then I thought, you know what? I could have either deleted that, or I could have posted it, or I could have saved it and written it somewhere else. But there was a little tip that I've done a few times where it's just writing a status for people to hear, and I mean, people saw it, I saw it, and definitely like perked my ears up. I was like, okay. I was like, this is the whole point of music and poems and being creative and art. It's like you've said something, then it took you half an hour to write it, but it's not something, unless you're Eminem, it's not just going to come out. You've got to put some thought into it. It's giving you an avenue in which to convey 100% your thoughts and feelings that otherwise you may not have been able to put into words in a conversation. And from that as well is like I've had people reach out and people message me. My mate Chris, he sent a song over. He was like, "Oh, I'm trying to put lyrics on this song. Do you reckon you can put that on?" You messaged me about this, and just little things like I never really had any intention of getting anything other than trying to express myself in there, and it leads to other avenues. So people do generally appreciate hearing how people feel and experience and their passion, and people feed off it. It's nice. Interesting. Well, no, thank you for sharing that. Like it's phenomenal words there. Like I said, it's very poignant and it definitely makes you think. And excuse the stuttering. Hey, I'm not the best reader. It doesn't matter. It's inspiring. So just to backtrack a little bit, I usually ask all my guests this, but who is your biggest inspiration that got you into music? Was it a band? It was Queen. Really? It was Queen? Yeah. Holy hell, I didn't know that. I wouldn't expect that. So it wasn't like your father or your parents, No, well, my mum, I guess. My mum and my sister. My mum was big into rock, Led Zeppelin, Queen, AC/DC. Wow. She loved all of that stuff. And my dad was more into his prog and dance music. No way. So when I first heard Queen, it was like, wow. Wow. How are they doing it? And I was listening to it on vinyl, like I said in that poem, my mum's vinyl player. And I was just an absolute awe of this sound. And then I remember my sister was learning guitar. So I'd had a few guitar lessons when I was young, but I never practiced or played it. I wasn't really that interested. So I stopped having lessons. My sister got quite good. She showed me artists like Jamie T and the Arctic Monkeys. Oh, I like Jamie T. Yeah, I love Jamie T. So me and my sister used to sing Jamie T all the time. So I guess she had, a bit of an inspiration there to get me into music. But I remember seeing a lad that I was in primary school. I was only, year 5 or something like that, so 10. Proper sproglet. And I remember seeing a kiddie who was a year above me play drums in assembly to everyone else. And I was like... That's so cool. He's only a year older than me, and I thought, wow. He is so cool. Like, I could do that. Like, I was watching him thinking I could do that. Whereas a guitarist, I watch a guitarist shredding and I think... What the hell are they doing? Like my little brain cannot compute like all these noises coming out of these fingers. But I saw a drummer and I was like, oh my God, he's hitting it. Like, I can do that. So then I heard a live band in the summer between going into secondary school.
Yeah.
It was a local band called Good Dog. I don't know if anyone will remember them.
Never heard of those.
They weren't particularly good, but they were like, they were sick. Do you know what I mean? Like for an 11-year-old kid to see like a room of people fucking bashing into each other and like just
for
living
sure.
it up, man. I thought, wow, that looks so much fun.
Yep.
So yeah, I kind of, started secondary school and I've always been a performer really. Like I've done like the shows at the Wyvern and stuff like that when I was a teenager.
Yep.
So I've always had this feeling in me that it's like I'm gonna be performing or on stage or there's something cool's gonna. I always thought it would be theatre. I always thought,
really,
going through school, I always thought I was going to be doing like some sort of theatre production stuff or, singing and dancing.
That reminds me, I should probably get Joe Annetts on here because he did that he went through that whole musical, theatre direction. I don't think he's doing that now. He is still doing it.
Yeah,
oh, good.
Well, a couple
he's
of years
just had a little
ago,
baby, hasn't he? So.
Oh, has he? Oh,
yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations,
Joe, man. Yeah,
a couple of months old now. But that's mad.
Because he was doing it was like a small theatre company or like theatre group, and I'd actually got given a part for that.
Really?
He's a homeless man.
I wonder why.
I mean, I had like beard and dreadlocks.
I mean,
and,
you looked great then. I mean, you look a lot better now.
I looked incredibly homeless at the time. So I didn't know if I was like a little bit like, oh great, cool.
I've been typecast.
I've got a role.
I've got this role for you. You're a homeless person. You're like, oh.
And Joe was actually in that show as well. But unfortunately, I didn't go ahead and do it because I got some work that was working away. Yeah. And I didn't have time for rehearsals and stuff.
Life got in the way, yeah.
So, but that was the path I thought I was going to go down.
This makes a lot of sense actually now because you did all that stuff with Madame Diabolique.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought that was so funny. You were sat on that...
sat on the cycle of life, that was.
Yeah, so just looking like, I don't know, like some kind of
I was
thing
Colin.
that came out of the ground, like a hobbit or something. I don't know. So my homeless dude. Carry on.
Yeah. My character in Madame Diabolique. So Madame Diabolique's it's a musical with original music with like... just expressive dancing, really. It's like it's kind of like a play, but it's more like there's no words to it. There's a narration, and it's all like theatrical.
Yeah, sure.
And so Adriana had written most of it, and me and
very talented pianist,
incredible pianist. Yeah, so it was her story. It was her original music, and we kind of writ a play to fit around it. And then added like a narration and poetry to kind of...
Can this be found on the Tube anywhere?
Yeah, you can. You can find it on Facebook.
So I can put it... Okay.
Madame Diabolique, you can find our Facebook page. We did 3 shows.
I'll put a link in
the Cotswold...
yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
yeah, that was right, yeah.
And the idea moving forward with Madame Diabolique is we want to go more dance sort of...
like expressive, interpretive dance.
We just want it to be a continuous like set basically, so we can go to festivals and it'd be like a dance set that people can really follow with the theatrical stuff.
Yeah.
But also,
and I mean this in the nicest way. It was so weird.
Oh, super weird.
Yeah. I was like, I'm about this. I was like, this is fucking weird. So, you on that bike thing and the camera's like slowly zooming into you and you just got this fat grin on you. You've got this like mad hat on and like
so my role,
looking so odd. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. So it's very sinister. So my part, I didn't. And
you were trying not to laugh as well. I'm pretty sure, which made it funnier.
Yeah. You see right at the end a little crack of a smile. So trying to literally stare right into the camera, deadpan. But so Colin was my role, and Colin, the cycle of life is necessary, and that's what Colin stands for. And I basically represented.
Wow,
the
that
system.
Just blew my mind. Colin, the cycle of life. It took me a few seconds to get that. I was like, why? I was like, Colin. Like, what a fucking name. Yeah.
The cycle of life is necessary. So I was the role of God, basically, or the machine, the system,
the man,
and
the wheel, hence the wheel,
the cycle, and
wow,
basically,
isn't art amazing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone took this from our theatrical. Like this was the storyline, but I don't know
now
if
you're
anyone
explaining
got
it.
that.
I'm like, whoa, my mind's blown. I'm like, holy shit. Like,
the cycle of life is necessary.
Mate.
But yeah, so it's basically about the masks we put on and to take us further away from our true self. So we would have these bottles like knowledge and action and we would drink from these bottles, have a wild dance, and these are kind of like our drugs as well, you know. And then afterwards, Adriana would wake up and she had this white mask on, and suddenly she was like trapped into
this is in the context of the play, right?
Yeah, in the play, yeah. And then so she would wake up, and Colin would go around and sort of show off these lovely bottles. Oh, drink from this, have some of this, and you know, it's really appealing. And then she would do that, and then she'd wake up, and she's attached to the bike. She's attached to by her wrists. She's like she's stuck, and then it's all about realizing that actually we have the power within, and the Colin cannot control us if we do not let him to.
Yeah,
and it's breaking free from the masks of society that we all wear. To become our true selves, and that was kind of what the play was all about, and it was a good laugh. Like we had a lot of fun doing it, and hopefully that goes somewhere as well. So we're trying to do these little projects and little things and bits.
Mate,
and bobs.
keep doing it. Like honestly, next time I want to come. I want to come to it. I think I was busy because it sounds so interesting. Like you know, like you explained about how she was, you know, wrapped up in this bike, and that was stopping her from going anywhere. And the bike is obviously a symbol of like, this is going to take me from point A to point B. And that, you know, the juxtaposition of it being something that's locked her in place and trapped her. So
yeah, and it's a lot of
very good stuff. Yeah, man.
A lot of symbolism for government and control and media and stuff like that. There's a lot of poignant stuff in there that definitely it was a bit weird though, yeah. Like the first few shows, like,
I love it
because it was a work in progress. You know, we'd done the first one, and everyone was like, it was hilarious because we missed scenes, and we're like, oh, it was a right shambles. By the time we'd done the third one, it was like, oh my god, that was really good. Like we did it. So going forward, we want to take that to festivals and hopefully.
Oh, mate, definitely do it. There's definitely a place for that stuff there. Like,
I mean, places like Boomtown and Shambhala, Glastonbury, they're gonna love that stuff, man. It's
absolutely.
Just something a bit weird and quirky. We've got a bit of work to do, but that's the end goal with
mate.
Madame
Get filming some promo stuff and send it out to festivals.
Yeah. Well, we did actually.
If you haven't already,
we had done that, but it just kind of the first original promo video we'd done looked amazing for the shows, but when we kind of tried to film the actual show to put to festivals, when we watched it back, we realized we were like, okay, we need to do something a bit more than this. This isn't really that appealing. Like we put in a load of work to get there, and it's a cool basis, but it was like, actually we need to make this a little bit more fruity for the festivals to kind of be like, yeah, we want that. So
sure.
This is where we've now trying to dive down the route of doing like electric music and dance music and turning it into a dance music set.
Wow.
So that's quite exciting, yeah.
No, it sounds it, man. I look forward to following that and seeing, you know, the results of that. Sounds cool. From what I saw, it's good. And I love all that strange, weird shit, so...
It was a good experience as well. Like, I'd never worked with, like, videographers and stuff like that before. And it was actually, trying to take this idea of a storyline and put it into an actual choreography and script and be able to do it. So... It was a good laugh. Like we had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, I mean, whilst it's not strictly like a music thing, like you said, you want to start bringing more music, you know, into it. But it's things like, you know, being a musician that gets you interested in those things. Like it's all they're all branches from the same tree. Like
like it would not be something that would appeal to someone who's not really into creative stuff.
Yeah,
I would have thought they would kind of sit. Why do you want to sit on a bike and wear a mask and a stupid hat? And
because it's funny.
It's like, we had a great laugh doing it.
Because it's weird and crazy looking. Like,
and we are weird, you know.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I was posting out pictures in this scene. People were like, "Oh fucking hell, what's he doing now?"
That's one of my favourite images of you, that little clip. It's so funny. Like,
Yeah, you might find it on here at some point.
yeah, mate. I'm gonna try and hunt it down, and maybe I'll with Lee and Adriana's permission, like, you know, stick it into the YouTube video.
Yeah, I mean, they might even be a cool.
But if
guest,
not, I'll
guest
find.
to get involved.
Yeah,
at some
man.
point.
I thought about this already. I liked because, you know, like, they do a lot of weird out there stuff, and I'm like super into that. So I'd definitely like love to get both of those on.
Yeah. I think they both talk quite confidently as well. So
Yes.
in a podcast setting, I think.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they've got a lot of interesting things, a lot of cool people they know, and projects going on. So
Yeah,
absolutely. I've got a lot to kind of owe them guys, really, because, you know, I've always been into my music and made an effort to get bands together and stuff like that. But it really, after college and that, I had a few years out, and then meeting Lee kind of really reignited my my passion for music, and also introduced me to a lot of people around the local scene and stuff that I didn't know before. So
it's exactly the same with me and Men Invest.
like networking. I mean, I was brought into these circles through Lee and my hard work and passion and the writing and, you know, going to gigs and stuff like that. And it's exactly the same, like, it's the same circles that we're all swimming in now. And it's
well, it's like I was saying before we started recording, that we may not all hang out and we may not all be like, you know, the best buds with each other in the world, but you're all aware of each other and what we're doing.
We're all on each other's
and
radar,
yeah, and we all sort of keep tabs on what people are doing, and
we want to support each other as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a community at the end of the day.
We all want the same thing, really, and like, I would be over the moon, say if Paul or the Crystal Wolf Project, say they made it big, like, it would be like, I would be so proud to just know that I was I was there from the start. I saw the whole journey of it.
Absolutely.
And there's none of that, like, there's not really bitterness between any of us. It's just like it's just support.
Yeah, well, for context, you used to be in Crows.
Here Come the Crows,
yeah.
With Paul, Paul and Rob was the setup. We'd be actually locked in on lockdown together.
Yes,
that was a really interesting time, actually. So everyone, this was the first lockdown.
I forgot there was several. Oh,
yeah.
The PTSD.
Oh, it was awful, wasn't it? I mean, actually, I had a banging time, to be fair, because I was locked in. But
I did not.
The second one was a bit intense. But the first one, we all locked in together, and we were doing live streams every day.
Really?
We ended up getting kicked out of the house. Yeah, I mean, I made a bit too much noise. And,
there you go.
But yeah, so we'd done every day, 7 o'clock. We'd done live streams, and unfortunately, the Here Come the Crows Facebook has gone down now. Something happened.
Oh, okay.
The old original one went down, and we had hours and hours of material where we went live.
You can't get it back?
It's all gone.
Was it like a login issue, or did the page just get taken down? Or
I think there was some sort of like hacking going on or something like that.
Shit.
And the site just got taken down.
Oh, that's a shame.
None of us done it.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what happens. And we had hours and hours of live streams that we done every single day.
Back it up.
Yes.
As I learnt.
Yes, if we learnt with these stems on by a thread.
We had a whole album's worth that day. We were hardcore in the studio. Had like 9 tracks and only 1 survived. And you heard it here, and you're not going to hear it anywhere else.
Yeah, that.
God damn it.
But, you know, you'll hear these 9 tracks at some point.
Yes.
It's just not that recorded.
Just not those recordings, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the aim, really. So I want to get, you know, Men Invest in a place where we are completely ready with our first album. Like, you know, going through different setups and stuff like that. You know, we've got some work to do to get all the parts completely written and finished.
Sure.
But that will be the idea, really, to get that album out soon as, and then we can get working on the next one. Gigging, really, that's like my main focus. Just kind of getting out there, getting our face out there, and just having a good laugh with it. Do
you, in Real Music UK, have got something coming up, like a promotional event? Not the one on the 23rd. I might be thinking of...
Are you on about in August?
I think so, yeah.
So Imperial Leisure?
That's the one, yes. Imperial Leisure.
Yeah, they've been going around about 20 years now, man.
Really?
Imperial Leisure. Awesome band, kind of punky, scarry sort of vibe. They've been doing their thing for years. So they're a 9-piece band, man. So we've got a 9-piece band coming to Swindon on, I think it's the 3rd.
God, imagine recording them live. Like,
let me check my dates.
Good Lord.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Getting them recorded.
Yeah, well, like I said, for a seasoned producer, they'd probably like, what are you complaining about? Yeah, doing you guys live was stressful. I can't imagine doing it with nine.
It's a process, isn't it, doing it live?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, I'm glad we did it that way because, I learned a lot. So
I think it's an easier way of doing things.
I think I was just preemptively freaking out because I was like, no, click. We must click. And you were like, no, fuck
I think it's
that.
easier for the band.
Yeah, especially for the first time in the studio. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're a live band. We've always played live. And I feel like a lot of our essence, we've got some movement between us. We're like, we'll feel off of each other. And... there is a little bit of movement, and I think that's natural and nice to have in music instead of having it very regimented and solid.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what we're aiming for, but there is always that natural movement between band members. If someone's slightly pushing, the guitarist can pull back.
Yeah, well, it's all about capturing that energy, isn't it? From that's the whole point of recording live is so that you're getting as close to how you guys actually sound on the stage and not have it be overproduced and super precise.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to like timing as well, to record everything is single tracks.
Yes,
it takes so much longer. So if we can get as much down, especially drum takes. I mean, that was my. I think a lot of what we done is like we'd play everything live, but I think we only saved the drum tracks.
It was only the vocals we didn't do live. Actually, thinking about it, I remember we did all the instruments and stuff live.
Did we keep the guitars on from that live one then?
Yeah. So your guitars from that record, they're all on there. My distorted guitar, which I call at home, is just sort of sitting on top of it. So both of our guitars are in there. We did the guitars, bass, and drums. You guys live in the studio. Yeah, and then you went over with your vocals separately.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah, because I can imagine...
Just because of all the bleed and stuff and like...
That was it. I would have had to probably...
We were really tightly crammed into that studio.
I'd have probably had to record the vocals along with it and then delete it because I know I have problems with structuring songs. If I'm not singing... The structure just goes out my head straight away. Yeah. I have no idea how long each section is and stuff like that. It's like I need to be... And if I'm doing it in my head, I'm not really thinking about what I'm playing on guitar and stuff like that. So, it's a good approach, I think. Any band who's trying to get some ideas down, I think a live recording is a good shout.
I agree. From my experience, it was
it's a good process. I mean, you do have issues where if you do go out of time, you're just going to have to delete it and start again. So it does put the pressure on. You have to get it right.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth giving it a go if you haven't done live recording before. Recording drum kit is just an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. It is, getting the sound right. If you're going to go into a studio, do all the drums on one day.
Yes.
Because if you go back the next day and you have to set everything up again, your drum kit's going to sound completely different.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, definitely. Right, well, Alex, I think that's, I think we've sort of come to a sort of natural conclusion, but
yeah, man.
It's been really awesome catching up.
It's been
and
awesome,
I would love to get you on again.
It's been also, nice to just sit and chill with you as well.
Yeah, mate,
catch
absolutely.
up a little bit. It's been a while, and I love talking about music, and I'm glad that I've, been invited here to talk to you guys about music today.
Yeah, nice one. All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next episode.
Nice one. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.